Hello and welcome. My name is Olga. I'm your relationships coach and advanced fast EFT practitioner. In today's video, I want to talk to you about why do women hide that they are in emotionally abusive relationships. Now, this topic is very near and dear to my heart because I've been in quite toxic relationships for a while, and it took me some time to even start talking about it or admitting that something is off and I need help. I also got an email lately from someone who said, Olga, I hear what you're saying, and I think I am there now. I just don't know how to talk about it, as I've been bullied, and I've been in a place to where he'll tell me that things will get worse. And another person says, one thing that popped into my mind when a person is in a toxic relationship, they're second guessing themselves, whether they are or not. It's like she goes like, I know I was in a toxic marriage. I would always ignore my gut feeling telling me this. And what kept me stuck a lot is that my husband would tell me that I'm the problem, not him. And so there's never a responsibility. And so I noticed that it's important to help people recognize a relationship is healthy and it needs some work, or when it's toxic and it's past its expiration date. But most importantly, how do you start the conversation about it? And how do you leave if that's the time to leave? Or how do you heal and grow and move past it if that's what it is? So over and over, I hear Olga, help. Let's talk about this more because I've ignored my gut instinct. And so I really want to learn how to deal with this. So let's talk about why do we, avoid the topic and why do we hide that things are off so often? So the first reason was that the fear that things will get worse. And I remember it was a very real fear. Not only that I was surrounded by people at that time who would support that fear. I remember people who was very close to me, I consider my best friends. They would say, Olga, don't divorce this guy. You just never know what's out there. There are just so many horrible people. You'll find somebody worse. True story. Also, my sister, who I absolutely love, and, she actually really loves my husband now, who's a great person, second husband. But she told me, Olga, I cannot picture you going through dating and putting your kids through that because, I had 2 kids at that time. And so what ended up happening is that I was genuinely afraid that things will get worse. So I felt stuck and I felt worried. And it's not until I found tapping and I really made some clear changes when things shifted. So if you're experiencing the fear of failure or the fear of things that will get worse, first of all, I totally feel you. It's totally normal. But do you know that everything that you ever wanted is on the other side of a fear? So it's a good habit to face your fears. And it's a good thing to do for yourself. And I wouldn't say that I'm a fearless person or I healed all my fears. As a matter of fact, I'll tell you the opposite. I have quite a few fears and I work on them all the time. Now, what is true for myself though, and something that I teach my clients all the time, is that don't let your fears stop you. Don't let your fears move on and take the step that is aligned and congruent with who you are. So that's what's important. It's like, successful people are not the ones who don't have fear, who are fearless. They have fear just like you and I do. But they are the ones who don't let this fear hold them back. So the first thing is notice that fear. It's okay. It's totally normal. Tap on it. Tapping is great for fear. Now, the second reason why women hide, the truth, or sometimes they pretend, why these things are the way they are, is because of lack of support. And by that I mean is not that we don't have anyone to talk to or we don't have friends, but as I mentioned earlier, it's almost kind of like they support our misery. And I remember the time when things started really shifting and I was genuinely started thinking about separation and considering this as an option, I lost 2 friends. 2 of my best friends just somehow disappeared. And I also had some other friends that had been with me for years and they supported me through the process. And what's even better, I found more friends through this. And so I want you to notice, are you surrounding yourself with positivity? Are people that you are in a real life, somebody who really got your back and someone who really will support you, or do they have a very sad beliefs that used to support you or were aligned with you when you were on a certain level? So start looking at those things because it's important to surround yourself with positivity on many levels. One thing that I did is you would never see me without headphones. Like I always would listening to Deepak Chopra and some of the videos of Robert Smith, and I did a lot of tapping, and Marcy Shimoff and Don Miguel Ruiz, and all of those people were just my friends. You know, they were my support system, and they really helped me understand and declutter and see things from the different perspective, so that I no longer was afraid to talk about what's going on. I no longer felt shame or guilt or fear. Speaking of which brings me to the third point. What I'm noticing in my career working with women and the research that I've done is that one of the biggest reasons women don't talk about it, afraid to talk about it, and avoid really looking at the core reasons is it because they feel strong shame. Shame, guilt, and embarrassment is something that holds a lot of people back from moving through it. Even thinking about experiencing that level of feelings just kind of stop them on the track. One of my clients said, Olga, when I look back at some of my experiences that I had with my ex-husband, who was kind of like a drug dealer, or he was producing drugs in their own home, like I felt like my home was my prison. I felt that stuck, and I felt very embarrassed, and I wouldn't talk to anyone about what my husband is doing because I thought it was my fault somehow. So start noticing the feelings of shame and guilt and fault. And I always tell my clients, listen, if you're feeling fault or if you're feeling guilt, which is some of my default emotions, that's why I understand them so well, tap on that first. If you're feeling guilty, you will always find ways to punish yourself, right? Very logical and very sad. So notice the feelings of guilt, tap and release, tap and release. So let's go ahead and do a quick tapping session on this, because I think if you are listening to this video, you might be in a place where logically you're agreeing with this, but emotionally it's kind of like still shifting. So we'll just tap for a couple of minutes. If you are new to the tapping, totally no worries. I remember when the first time I was listening to this, Brad Yates is the one who introduced me to that. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is so weird. So then I close the door, make sure that nobody can see me. But all we're going to do is we're going to say certain things to give us permission to feel what we feel and to talk about things that are important for us so we can move on. And the tapping process is essentially this point. So there's one between the eyes, one on the side of the eye, one under the eye, one is right here. And you can kind of go from point to point. It's called collarbone. Finally, just grab your wrist and take a deep breath. Breathe in. Breathe out. What I want you to do, I want you to close your eyes for a second. Just kind of drop into your body. Relax, know that you're in a safe space to feel what's coming up and to release what's no longer serve you. As you do, just breathe in and breathe out. Take 2 fingers and tap with me. Say, I release and let go of all the fears, all the worry. I release the embarrassment, the stuck feeling, lack of support, the worry, the fear that things will get worse, that I will not find anyone. It's safe to let it go. As I release these feelings, I create space for something better. I create space to move on, whatever that means for me. I'm committed to myself and to my own healing. And that's all I can do. I'm not responsible for others. They have their own journey. It's safe for me to heal. I release and let it go. Just let it go. Finish tapping. Go ahead and grab your wrist. Take a deep breath. Breathe in. And breathe out. And say the word peace. Fantastic. Honestly, it doesn't matter what you say when you tap. It's just that simple. Feel what's coming up. Tap on it. I do it a few times a day. It does not have to be perfect. It does not have to be every day. Do it as often as you can. It's really great way to emotionally cleanse yourself. Kind of like a version of an emotional cleansing, right? Or emotional decluttering. Now, if you enjoyed this video and if you would like to learn more how to release toxic experience from your life, I have a webinar coming in. So make sure that you use the link below to sign up, and I'll be more than happy to share more of the tools and tips that I personally used in my life to clear the emotional clutter from the past, to move on, start dating. I actually started dating pretty early, about 6 months after we divorced, and actually find a great man and get remarried. Whether you want to remarry or not, it's totally fine, but I know a lot of women who watch my videos, they are ready to make peace with the past. That's all what this webinar is about. Looking forward to seeing you there. Have a great day. Bye.